As I've gotten older, 3 things have started happening to me. I get bumps in weird places. My back hurts damn near every single day. And I've become a lot more nostalgic for things from my childhood, namely video games. Hello everyone, this is Aqua, Sloth, and a very harsh reality that I've recently come to in my adult life is that a lot of games just don't hold up. Like at all. Sure, they were great when I was 6, and I have great memories of them, but most of the time the controls feel very fucking clunky, especially compared to newer games of the same genre. That being said, there are a lot of games that I do feel genuinely stood the test of time, and today I'd like to share one of those with you. And that game is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses. This is a weird game that feels kind of like a fever dream, and it's either like you've played it and you love it, or you've never seen it and it looks like dog shit, which is totally fair. There's not really an in-between, and I think that's a reason why I love it so much. For those unaware, Duelist of the Roses came out in a very weird kind of experimental time in Konami's career. The best way that I can explain it, and the best way I've heard it explained to me, is it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards meets chess, but even that doesn't really seem to do it justice. Let me just explain a little bit about the game, and then we can delve into why it means so much to me 20 years later. Basically, you are from present day, or I guess 2001 in this case. You get sent back to a war-torn Europe with events and battles loosely based on the War of the Roses. In my research for this video, I found out that the War of the Roses was a real thing that apparently took place in 1455, so there's a fun fact for you. You start out by falling out of the sky and crash land in Stonehenge, because of course you do. Here we meet a weird blue-skinned man named Simon McFucking-Moron who summoned us here with a ritual to bring us from our timeline into his so that we can help him fight the Yorkists. How you equate that to Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards? I'm not really sure. You choose between siding with the Yorkists, which is Kaiba, or the Lancastrians, which is Yugi, who is apparently actually named Henry Tudor. He literally just says, "You can call me Yugi," with no further context. Whichever side you choose pits you against the other one. So if you side with Kaiba, you fight Yugi's people. If you side with Yugi, you fight Kaiba's. It's pretty standard, like, good versus evil type shit. Okay, so that's like the story. But what about the gameplay? So each player has a deck master. The deck master is kind of like a king or a queen in chess. I don't know which one does what. Each player starts with 4,000 life points, and the duel is over when one of them hits 0. You lose life points by either losing battles with 2 monsters in attack mode, or getting attacked directly, or if this stupid fucking cunt just plays 4 tremendous fires before I can even play a card, man. I want to play, please let me go! You duel on a 7x7 grid map that is made up of multiple terrains which can either help or hinder your monsters quite drastically. Some have gone on record to say that it's balanced poorly, and to those people I say, let's move on. If your card is in its corresponding terrain, like a fish in the ocean, or a machine in the desert, you get a power increase of 500 attack and defense points, as well as double movement bonus. There's like a lot more to it, but if you've played the card game, you should probably understand this decently well. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. I assume the only people that are ever going to watch this are people that have played the game, so they know how it works. Growing up as a sibling of 4, I remember watching games be played almost as much as playing them myself. Similar to kind of how I am now. I remember going through these crazes of playing Duelist of the Roses with my siblings, and we would just play for hours until our bum-ass PS2 would overheat. Hours and hours playing those fucking graveyard slots, getting my ass kicked by Skull Knight Dude, looking at the 3D model for Dark Magician Girl because, Jesus fucking Christ, I thought this was a kid's game. We use every single tip and cheat code that you could find on Cheat Code Central. You got Aqua Dragon, Barrel Dragon, fucking Dragon D's Nuts. There were a lot of dragons. I remember reading that if you named yourself after brands like Pepsi or Toyota, you would get better cards for your starting deck. Looking back, I realized how much of an impressionable child I was, because that doesn't make any sense. So why does this game matter to me? Why am I still playing it after 20 years? And why can't I just fucking go. Just let me play. To be honest, I'm not really sure what brings me back to this game. Its Metacritic score is ass, and its community is so small that I am shocked that anybody is still talking about this game. But there's just something about it. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's nostalgia. I like to think that it's not. It's just got something. It's got like a soul in it, man. I don't know. It's really fucking weird. As is the case with most turn-based games, the gameplay and scenarios feel fresh every single time. I actually just watched a review that came out like a year ago about this game, and the guy said that the replay value is 0 and that the scenarios are generic and stale every time. So I feel like I'm inclined to say that this is my opinion, and you are entitled to your own, I suppose. Sure, the enemy has the same 40 cards every single time, but what they do with those cards is almost never the same. On top of that, what you do with your cards is completely different every time. If you fight Weevil's Bug deck in the forest with a Beast deck, it's going to be a totally different outcome than if you did it with a zombie deck or a warrior deck. There are over 800 cards, 17 starting decks, and 21 duels you can play, each with their own decks, their own cards, their own AI, which, you know, for 2003, not that bad. It is a little rough around the edges, today. If this video seemed rushed, I apologize. I was trying to write and record this all while working from home today because there was a power outage at work. Shout out to that dude that absolutely demolished the power line in front of work with your 2004 Tahoe. I appreciate it. You a real one, King. Get well soon. Before I go, I did want to mention a pillar of the Duelists with the Roses community, an individual responsible for breathing what may be the first and final breath of air into this game that there ever will be. Clovis. Clovis is a Duelist with the Roses YouTuber that brought us the absolutely legendary Redux mod that completely overhauled the campaign. It made it so every card is obtainable, and to boot, it's hard as shit. So I fucking love it. So thank you, Duelist of the Roses. Thank you, Clovis. And thank you for watching. I've been Aqua Sloth, and you've been great. I'll smell you later.